All right, here's the spread of fruit. So for the lemons, New Zealand lemonade, Meyer Lemon, Ponderosa Lemon. This one is actually a Persian lime. We've got Vaniglia Sanguino, Acidless sweet orange. This is the gold nugget, Shiranui with the top knot on it. We do have Kishu. We've got a Keraji sweet lemon. I guess I can pick a Ponkan. It's right behind me. So this is going to be the Centennial Kumquat. This one is actually the Orangequat. Looks very similar to this one, which is the red lime. Fukushu Kumquat, Nagami Kumquat, and then over here we've got the Owari Satsuma, and then this is one of the Limequats. I honestly don't know which one it is because it was off a quat cocktail tree. Hold on one second, and I will get a Ponkan. Ponkan is a little bit small on this tree only because it has way too many fruit on it. So let's go ahead and start cutting and tasting, and we'll see how that goes. So here's a Shiranui. They are very easy peel typically. This one may not be quite ripe, but it's ripe enough for testing. We have a freeze coming up, so I want to put a bunch of trees in the greenhouse, and I was honestly worried that some of this fruit would get knocked off the tree. These are potted trees, so I figured I would peel it. Usually, Shiranui is something that you can peel in one peel, and that's kind of how I judge how I love my, or how I prefer my citrus. So this one isn't quite ripe, so it's taking a little bit more to peel it. Segment's really easy. Usually it's pretty sweet fruit. I expected not to be quite as sweet as it normally would be. It's good. It's not quite as sweet, so you have a bunch more flavor. But I don't know. I would eat the whole thing as is. Pretty big pieces too. I've been wanting to buy a Damascus knife and a nice cutting board. So because I didn't, I decided to just take out the knife I use for my briskets. So it's Victorinox. And if you're wondering why I'm overcompensating, it's because it's not the knife I wanted. So we will stay with the, I guess, mandarins. So this is a gold nugget mandarin. Again, maybe picked a little bit early. Pretty easy peel. Honestly, these are one of the ones that I really, really enjoy when they're ripe. I'm going to guess that this one isn't quite fully ripe, but I'm sure it'll have a lot of the flavor. It just might not be as sweet. And it is a little bit bigger, so usually when they're a little bit bigger, they're not quite as good. It doesn't have as much of the sweetness, but you can see the vesicles and the juice is all there. This is actually a really good fruit. And honestly, it's one of my favorites. I can't wait till this tree grows up. I do have one in the ground too that I didn't let fruit this year, so hopefully that one will also grow up and produce some really good fruit. This is the Owari Satsuma. Nice and puffy. This one will peel really easy because it's really ripe. So let's see if I can peel it in one. So there you go. This is usually how I prefer to have the citrus that I like. Now this one is going to be a sweeter fruit. As you can see from the vesicles, it's seedless, really juicy, really pulpy. I don't know if you can see it with the light, but it's really, really pretty. It's actually gorgeous. Get the light on it. But this is really, really good. And it looks like there is one seed in there. So I guess they can have some seed, but they don't typically have a lot. Really sweet. It's hard because people always ask what they taste like. It definitely has a citrusy. It does have some orange to it, but it's got some other flavors in it too, so it's interesting. It's not just a ball of sugar, if that makes sense. This one is the Ponkan. Again, it's really, really small, not quite ripe, but I'll give it a try. So this is the day before Thanksgiving in coastal North Carolina. Some of these were pot grown. I think the Owari was the only one that, the Owari was the only one that was not pot grown so far. So this is Ponkan, grown in a pot. And again, day before Thanksgiving, so November 25th, in zone 8B. I mean, technically, I think we're right on the line 8A, This has all the flavor. It's more right now like a, kind of like the flavor you get from a clementine. But again, that will sweeten up, I believe, and get a little bit bigger too, typically. But this is a really young tree that shouldn't have had this much fruit on it. As you can see, there's some seeds in that one. Again, that was a Ponkan. Now, Kishu. This is a really small Kishu. I'm going to give you a little bit of a pro tip. The smaller the fruit, the more flavor and the more punch it has. So when they get bigger, they tend to get a little bit more watery and they get a little bit more watered down and they don't taste quite as good. Typically, Kishu are really, really easy peel. These ones aren't, I guess, the ripest because you can usually just have it fall right out of the peel. I have some in the house that would do that, but I like to keep it difficult. Really, really small, cute segments. Some of the sweetest fruit you'll ever have. And cold hardy enough to grow here, which is minimal protection in the ground. One of my favorite fruit. It has a citrusy flavor, but it actually has more of a, more on the sweet side. It looks like the little mandarins that you'd have in like a salad, like those little segments. My wife likes to actually freeze these, segment them out, and then freeze them, and then they're kind of like orange slushy. You just pop them in your mouth and eat them as snacks. So definitely worth it. Trying not to blow up my palate, so we'll do the lemons last. This is a Vaniglia Sanguino. Acidless sweet orange. I like to pick them when there's a tiny bit of green left on them. They tend to have a little bit more flavor. This one may have a little bit more color in it because it's a little bit more ripe. Now, the acidless part means that it tastes less like a citrus, and you taste the more nuanced flavors that are in this. This one you tend to get like a vanilla flavor, or you tend to get like berry, and some people say bubblegum, and all these other flavors. But really the reason why you're able to taste it is because you don't have the acid. Now inside it'll have a little pink around where the pulp is, so it's going to be really, really pretty. So as you can see with that, now it does get, I'll cut another slice off, but how pretty is that? Now there are some seeds in here. So let me just take that one little seed out. But that's a beautiful little wedge. I wish the sun could shine on it a little bit for you. Now, let me give that a try. It's funny because I'm used to tasting the vanilla, but I honestly taste more of the berry and more of the bubblegummy undertones out of this one, to be honest with you. And I've never had the bubblegum flavor in it. Let me see if I can get it without the pith. It is funny because it's more of the bubblegum flavor. So I'm going to probably pick these and give them away to people. There is quite a bit of seed in there. It's not as pretty when you slice it this way, but it makes it easier to eat it and get a little bit more of the flavor. Now I know some of you love to grow the seeds out and all that, but I don't really have the time, space, or energy to do it. But if you want to, this would be one that I would do because it probably cross-pollinize with some of the other citrus you have, and who knows what you get. But that one is a good one. I'm going to set that one aside, and I'll probably eat that one later. All right, what should we do next? Let's go with the, I want to do the red lime last. Uh-oh. Yeah, I almost went for a ride. All right, let's go for the Ponderosa. This is a little bit of a small Ponderosa. Still obviously pretty big, but this should be a pretty basic lemony flavor. cross section, you get quite a bit of lemon. Now, a larger one of these, you'll get almost an entire cup of lemon juice from one lemon. I don't know if it has seeds or not. This one does not look like it does, so they may not have seeds in them. But this is going to be a beautiful true lemon flavor. Definitely a true lemon flavor. I think it probably could ripen a little bit more. It doesn't quite have the bite of a full lemon, but it has all the vesicles. It's obviously very, very juicy. That will make a great lemonade. Now, while I'm on the lemons, let me go ahead and get a Meyer. So you'll notice the color difference between the Meyer. Meyer is a cross with a Mandarin, so it does have a little bit of inherent sweetness. There can be seeds in them. Typically, there's not many. At one point, I may cut myself, but it'll be worth it to get the seeds out. So let's go ahead and try the Meyer. I mean, it's a lemon. Has a little bit of a floral note to it. And honestly, it's a little bit sweeter than a typical lemon. I've heard of people making limoncello from it. There's a company called Limoncello, and they make them out of Meyer lemons. I'll take the recipe to my grave. But that is also a really good lemon. We'll do the Limequat with the lime. So let's go ahead and do New Zealand lemonade. Now this one may not be quite ripe enough. I'm hoping it's getting there. I've got a couple trees hidden away that have a couple small fruit on it that I can't wait to try. Looks like a normal lemon. And when you cut it and eat it, it does not have that. It has a lemon flavor, but it's supposed to be sweeter. Which it is. So not quite as sweet as it will get, but it tastes like lemonade. You could peel this. You could peel it and just pull out wedges. I probably made a mess of that, but yeah, there we go. You could peel it, pull it out of its wedges, just like it was a normal orange, and just eat it. It's not sour enough to pucker your face, but it tastes like a lemon, and it's sweet. That's definitely going to go in the I'm going to eat it later pile. Let's do a Keraji. So Keraji is a sweet lemon, not quite the same as the other. Now I'm going to peel this one first, and then I'll cut it, only because you'll be able to see all the seeds. So this is very seedy. Now, like I said, some people actually really enjoy these. Honestly, that one's good. Without the seeds, I'd eat it. I don't know if they get a little bit bigger than what I've got here. Maybe on a little bit more of a mature tree. But that one was worth it. And obviously it's going to be a little bit more cold hardy. So that probably has a place in my yard. Let's go to some kumquats. Nagami Kumquat. Elongated, more oval. I guess I'll cut it this way. It's pretty inside. It does have a couple seeds in there. You can eat the peel on these. They're beautiful though. And they're sweet exterior. And the inside's got some bite to it. Well, not a lot of bite, honestly. So I'm just going to squeeze the seeds out. So you can eat the whole thing. I would say for a kumquat, the whole thing is actually pretty sweet. So a lot of kumquats, like for example, Fukushu, and also Kishu and some of the Satsumas and things like that, if you just yank them off the tree, they will rip. So you always want to cut them. Use a pair of snips, otherwise they'll rip. And if they rip, their shelf life goes down drastically. So Fukushu Kumquat. These are really sweet peel. And then the inside is actually pretty tart. I think it's overly tart, but I love it. So when you eat these, my wife likes to slice them and just eat slices. Now there's seeds in these too, but she likes to slice them up and eat them this way. This is how she can handle them. The way I do it is I usually bite that end. And as long as you get peel and inside at the same time, it's not so bad. But if it's too sour for you, you can just squeeze some of the seeds and some of the juice out. Try it again. It's too sour, squeeze more of the juice out. And then you're really just getting more of the sweet than you are the sour, because more of the juice is the sour. Now, interesting thing, I'm going to make a key lime pie later. And I might also make a Fukushu pie just to see if you can do it. I think there's enough juice in it, and I think it's got enough tart to it that it'll be pretty good. Probably shouldn't have eaten the whole thing, but here we have a variegated kumquat. Really, really pretty. This was actually a kumquat that was selected for its variegation, not necessarily its flavor, but it is really, really pretty. I think you can see it with the sun. Actually, raise the camera up a little bit. So this one has more of a tart orange flavor. Has some seeds in it. Now, when I say a tart orange flavor, think like orange flavoring, but a little bit tart. The peel doesn't really add a whole lot of sweetness, and the peel is actually a little bit thicker and a little bit, there's more texture to this. So what I would probably do is I would probably use this as a ton of juice. Willing to bet you could probably make a key lime pie style with this too. Or you can use it as a marmalade, which is probably what I would do with it. Orangequat. I have a love-hate relationship with Orangequats. I love the tree. Beautiful squatty tree, overly productive, ton of fruit, always amazing, always beautiful. I'll put in I'm sure, a piece of the video. However, I just don't love eating the fruit. They're beautiful. And I usually, again, would make a marmalade with these. Peel has plenty of texture to hold up in the marmalade. It's got just enough tartness to make the marmalade work. Yeah, this is by far the tartest quat I've had. And I'm going to stick by what I said. I don't love it. But it is, I mean, it's good. It's just not, a little bit seedy. It's just not what I'm looking for if I'm looking for a quat. Now this right here should be the red lime. I'll do that one next. A little bit seedy, but you can see the colors because a lot of people, they're trying to figure out the color because it says red. So you'll notice this is how bright the exterior will get. Let me see if I can get in the sun. It's close. Now, these ones are less tart than the Orangequat. However, these ones have a little bit of burn at the end. Not a burn as in spicy, but there's just a funk that comes through from the Rangpur parent. Now, I will have that taste in my mouth for the next 10 or 15 minutes where I know that I ate a red lime. These are the Excaliber Red Limes. They are worth growing. They're worth using for something. I haven't figured it out yet. I look forward to you guys letting me know what recipes you like. What do you use them for? This is going to be a Limequat. Lakeland, Eustace. I'm honestly not sure. Came from a cocktail tree. These are gorgeous, and they are like a basically Herschel from Madison says they are like a lime packet or a ketchup packet of lime. And I am willing to bet, I had to take that out of my mouth. I'm willing to bet that these have more juice and potency than this entire lime. Maybe twice as much. These things are potent. Really, really good lime flavor, but just really potent. And again, really, really beautiful. I mean, I'll end up using that in my pie later. So this is a Persian lime. It's just a little bit overly ripe, which is the reason why it's yellow. Really good lime flavor. Maybe a little bit more mellow than the Limequat. Definitely more mellow. It could be because it's a little bit more ripe as well. But I don't know. If you're going to grow limes, you have to grow a Persian lime. The only thing is it's not quite as cold hardy, so you either have to grow it in a pot, protect it, or live somewhere where it's warm enough that you don't. But anything under 40, I guess 38 degrees, I'll take my limes and put them in the greenhouse or somehow protect them. And I'll do a video on how to protect some stuff later. But let me give you a close-up of the fruit, and we'll go from there. Here's the aftermath. Beautiful. Hopefully that helps you guys figure out some of the fruit that you may want to